All right, you guys. So, wanted to get you this video up here. I don't know where you guys live, but I'm up in northeastern Ohio and we get all 4 seasons. This video, I just wanted to touch on, is there a best time to purchase a motorcycle? Whether it's a new or used motorcycle, lots of people give me a hard time because I choose to buy my motorcycles usually in the fall or the beginning of winter. Right now it is November in Ohio. It is relatively cold. We're getting down into the 20s in the morning and it may only hit 40 degrees as a high. Couple things I have to say about this time of the year. Number one, it is the best time to buy a motorcycle in Northeast Ohio. This time of the year, people are putting bikes up. They don't want to store them for the winter. The motorcycle has been taking up too much space in the garage. They want to clear out some room. If they're looking at selling the motorcycle, they probably don't ride it that much. And they've probably been staring at this motorcycle in the garage all riding season long. And now, as the leaves are falling and the snow is getting ready to hit the ground, they want to make some room. They really want to get these bikes out, and they will usually let them go for a very reasonable, a very fair price. Not only just the used motorcycles, but also the new motorcycles. Since Harley-Davidson is now releasing all their new motorcycles in January, they started doing this the last couple of years. They announce all their new motorcycles in January. They start shipping out orders like February, March. Everybody gets super excited. Well, they still have a ton of 2023 models on the floor. Almost all your local dealerships have too many 23s on the floor. What does that mean for you? If you've been looking at buying a new motorcycle and you're paying attention to the ads, Harley nationwide is running 1.9% APR on most of their bikes. Most of these local dealerships are trying to push to get these bikes out. The 23s are not going to be bringing as much money in 24. So if you get a carryover year motorcycle, you can save a ton of money. I'm speaking from experience here because when I bought my 2020 Lowrider S, I bought it in February of 21. I got that motorcycle for $16,500 out the door. Tremendous deal. Those bikes were selling for like $21,000. I got mine for $16,500 just because it was a leftover model and they needed to make room for the 21s. Right now, we're seeing the same thing. Everybody was going crazy because Harley had all these motorcycles that they weren't selling. We looked at the sales chart on one of my last videos. Harley's sales are down almost 20% across the country. So what that means for you as the consumer is if you were waiting all year because of them high interest rates and you want to get on that motorcycle now, get into your dealership now. They're very aggressive. Some of them are waiving freight and setup surcharges. Some are waiving all these fees and they're just trying to move units to get them off the showroom floor so that they're not carrying them over to the next year. With used motorcycles, like I said earlier, these guys are trying to get them out of their garage. Maybe they want to buy a brand new bike. They need to move that old one. Lots of people don't want that bike just sitting there for the winter. They don't want to do another full service on it. They don't want to put new tires on it. They don't want to store it for the winter. So you can really negotiate some killer deals on used bikes. I buy all my motorcycles this time of year. For me, it's either winter or it's fall. I start looking at motorcycles just for that reason. The downside, there are a couple pros and a couple cons. One of the biggest cons to buying a motorcycle this time of year is it may be too cold for you to take it on a test ride. Do not let that be an issue for you. Get out there, ride the bike. The last one I bought in November, I rode around the parking lot of the building where the guy was selling it. He was at a storage unit facility. I rode around the parking lot. I did 6 or 7 laps, made sure the motorcycle shifted smooth, checked the oil, made sure the oil didn't look super thick like maple syrup and all black. You can just heat the bike up, let the bike run, get up to operating temperature, see if it has any sputters, see if it stutters at all, see how high the miles are on the bike. You could really check and look at these bikes without needing to test ride them for an extended period of time and know exactly what you're getting. Check the condition of the chrome, see if it's really heavily pitted. If it is, and the bike has very low miles and it is an older bike, sometimes that's a sign for you to stay away from that motorcycle. So you have to be smart. You have to know what you're doing. I'll make another video on that in the future. Things to look at when you're buying a used bike. This one, I kind of wanted to just touch on the times of season to buy a bike. Now, what I seen this year that passed, January, February, March, you were still able to get some pretty aggressive deals from Harley Davidson. They were pushing out them new models when the 23s just hit the floor. They were selling them at a pretty decent interest rate, and they were moving quite a few units. What happened as the season broke, once we got till the beginning of spring, we start getting to April, May, June, the prices stayed the same, but the interest rates started to go up. Once we hit about that sweet spot, the end of May, the beginning of June, the prices went up a little bit too. So the average prices I was seeing went up by about $1,500 once the weather got amazing. So once you were getting the 60-degree days with 50-degree mornings and everybody's out riding, the prices went up because they can charge a premium. Everybody's seeing their friends out on the highway on their motorcycle, and they say it's time for me to go get a bike. So they were flooding the dealerships. The dealerships were pumping these bikes out. Interest rates went up 10%, 12%. I seen them as high as 18% this year. Now, that carried through almost all the way until August, September. And then we started seeing in the beginning of October, the beginning of November, about that 2-month period of time right there, that the interest rates started dropping because the projected sales were not hitting their numbers. It's going to happen again in 24. You're going to get some screaming deals right now. If you get out to your dealership and you check out these 23 models before they're gone, you could get a really good interest rate. If your credit's up there, you could get a screaming deal on these bikes. But I'm telling you, once March and April start coming in, them 24s are going to hit the floor and the prices are going to start going back up. Once May and June come in, interest rates are going to go up. So right now is the best time for you to get a new or used motorcycle, whether you're financing through Harley or you're buying from a private owner. I'll tell you what, when I sell my bikes, I'll wait till the spring because I know once the weather is nice, I'm going to get less people showing up to kick tires on my bike. They're going to show up. They already want to be on the road. If there's a few minor cosmetic damages to the bike, couple scratches, a little dent, they're not as particular. When you're selling a bike right now in the winter, those people are going to try to get money off. They want your lowest price, because they're not going to ride for a couple months. They're going to sit and look at that bike in the garage. If you're going to sell a bike, wait till the spring. If you're going to buy a bike, get one in the fall or the winter, because that's your best time to get a great deal. Thank you guys for watching. I'll get you another video up here soon. Bear with me. The weather's cold and I'm in the woods hunting. So keep it rubber side down. If you live in the South and you guys are still riding, man, I'm jealous. But if you're up north like me, I'm going to start getting into the Sportster build. I got the Triple Trees back from Powder Coat. They're about to get put on the bike. We're going to do a couple other things here. The Sportster build is going to be in full effect. I want to get this bike running by February, March, somewhere around there. So thank you guys and stay tuned for the next one.